Hello and assalamu alaikum, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting episode of the Swanky Doctors podcast. Today we have a very special guest with us, Dr. Kaleem, all the way from Canada. He has recently completed his MBBS from Medical University in China. He is also the founder and CEO of the Source Guy. He has a wide range of experiences, not just in the field of medicine, but also in the field of entrepreneurship and startup. So, Dr. Kaleem, welcome to the show and thank you so much for joining us today.
Walaikum salam. Thank you so much for the invitation. It's an honor, as I said earlier, it's an honor to be part of your show. And as you explained earlier, my name is Dr. Kaleem. I graduated from Shaanxi University of Chinese Medicine from China in Shaanxi province.
Mhm.
And I just graduated in July 2022. And I was going through my house job. I just applied for Canada. I made my mind that I should go for Canada, and that's
Okay,
how I ended up in Canada
okay.
after.
We will come to that part
Yeah.
later. So we will
All right.
start the
Yeah.
conversation with the
So,
few basic questions like where were you born and how
okay.
was your early life like and where did you get your early education from?
Yeah. All right. So, I was born in a small city. It's called Chenyot. I'm not sure if you have heard of
Yeah,
it.
exactly. It is somewhere near
It's
Faisalabad, right?
Yeah, it is. It is around 30 kilometers away from
Mm-hmm.
Faisalabad. I think it's the last district in Pakistan.
Okay, okay.
Well, I was born there, and then I did my primary education within Chenyot. Then I moved to Sargodha, Fazaya Inter College or Air Base Inter College. It's a part of Pakistan Air Force.
Okay.
I did my matriculation from there. I did my metric grade 10 from there, and then I moved to Kyrgyzstan.
Mm-hmm.
I did my grade 11 and 12 from there, and then I moved to China. Well, I had no idea that I'm going to do medicine. I had no idea that I'll be continuing my education. I went to China for visit only. I had no idea
Okay.
that I'll pursue in Pakistan or China. I was basically, blank at that time.
That's interesting.
So yeah, I was blank. Well, when I was there for the visit, I was visiting my sister. When I was there for the visit, I just thought it's a good place. China has many opportunities to offer,
Mm-hmm.
and since China gives visa every year, they renews. So I thought which program could give me longer visa, and that's how I chose. Okay, let's go for MBBS. It's a 6-year course.
Okay.
Well, that's how I ended up choosing MBBS. I had no idea.
Okay, so
But yes,
mhm. So
yeah,
doing high school from
just to mention,
Kyrgyzstan, it's a very unconventional
yeah.
pathway. So how did that happen?
How did that happen? After my matric, I wasn't, very interested in continuing in Pakistan. I was always looking for options to move abroad.
Okay.
And at after matric, there are very limited options to go, to other countries. I was looking for Hong Kong. It was very expensive, very expensive. I mean, it was costing around $100,000 at that time for intermediate for college 2-year college diploma degree.
Mm-hmm.
I was looking for China, but there were bachelor options, master's options, but no diploma or nothing after metric.
Mm-hmm.
I was looking for Canada. Even at that time, I got admission in one academy in Toronto, Discovery Academy. I still remember that,
Okay.
but I didn't pursue visa or I didn't apply for that. And then someone, mentioned that, oh, Kaleem, you should go for Kyrgyzstan. I said, okay, let's go for that.
Okay.
So yeah, and why I chose MBBS, I already mentioned that due to the length of the visa. Plus, I have three doctors in my family, my two sisters and my brother-in-law. So I thought, okay, it's a family,
Okay. Okay. That's
Already I
great.
have three members in my
Mhm.
family.
So,
So yeah.
how was the experience of doing MBBS from China, specifically the language barrier part of like you have to interact with the people over there and the barrier of language that exists, but like
Yeah,
you didn't have any
yeah,
knowledge of Chinese language. So, how
yeah,
did you tackle that hurdle and how
yeah.
was that experience?
Okay. So basically, when I went to China, I did course of Chinese Mandarin for 6 months, and then when I started my medical degree as well, they have a program for 6 months to 1 year. It lasts for 1 year.
Hmm.
That they have two or three subjects of Chinese which they teach to
Okay.
make sure that you can communicate out there.
Hmm.
So even if you I lived there for 7 or 8 years, but still I'm not very fluent in Chinese. It's a difficult language. I mean, you are away from Chinese, you forget to write, you forget to read, you forget to speak. I mean, I've been away for almost 2 years now, and I'm not sure. Sometime I see, because Chinese community there are many people from China here in Canada. So when I see them, I just, they just start speaking and it just comes to me. But you just forget when you're away. But I mean, it's fine. I have seen students, face difficulties
Hmm.
due to the language barrier. But when they are in the medical college, they don't really, get to spend a lot of time out there in the world.
Hmm.
I mean, they have a very hectic schedule.
Hmm.
So I remember we had classes from 8 a.m. to 12, and then we had 2 hours lunch break, and then from 2 to 5, and then the lab in the evening from 7, 8, something 8:30. So they just, spend time within their own community, like Pakistani community, Indian, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka,
Hmm.
in the dorm, in the hostel. They couldn't really go on the weekends. They could go outside, but I mean, I've seen students in these 6 years who couldn't really see the city which they were living in.
Okay.
They only saw the campus area and their surroundings.
Hmm.
So, I mean, students survive.
Okay. Okay. So
Yeah.
how was the quality of education over there?
Okay. Ali bhai, that I was, I'm not
Because
sure
most of
it
the
will become
pre-med students
controversial
are
or not.
kind of skeptical uh, when they are looking
Yeah.
for options of
Yeah.
doing MBBS from abroad.
Yeah.
So what was your experience like?
Okay. So I'll mention one video here which have been going viral recently, of Dr.
Hmm.
Afan from Multan. I'm not sure if you have seen
Yeah,
that.
exactly.
So he criticized the students who I haven't really seen that. I was just looking at the title, and I've seen FMGs take some legal action and all that.
Hmm.
I mean, it really depends on the person who is going there to study.
Hmm.
Like I'll be very, I'll be very transparent here. Uh, the college I joined, when I thought I should go for medical degree, the college I joined was very strict, very good quality of education.
Hmm.
But I didn't want that kind of, quality. I wanted a bit, independence. I
Okay.
wanted some time for me. Okay,
Hmm.
so he wants to study, and who just wants to, gets the degree, and also explore the opportunities around.
Hmm.
So I studied in that college for 2 years. I just, I made my mind that I'm not for this college, I have to change, and then I transferred to another. First I was in Wuhan, and then I changed to Xi'an city in Shaanxi province.
Hmm.
So I would say it really depends on the person who is going there to study. I have multiple friends who topped, who have cleared USMLE Part 1,
Hmm.
who never spent money in China. They always got the scholarships from university, and they cleared their PMDC or PMC exam within the first attempt. I
Okay.
have already mentioned they have cleared their USMLE, and now they are preparing for Canada and Australian exam.
Okay.
So it really depends on the person. I wasn't the very talented one who could, just absorb all that quality of education, and I just went for the other school where I knew, okay, they are lenient, they are okay, you can, you can just pass exams and you can be fine.
Okay.
So I went for that college in my third year, but for 2 years I struggled in that, in the strict one as well.
Okay.
And the graduates coming from that college would be high quality graduates, and now they are serving in the medical field in Pakistan. Multiple graduates are serving in Allied Hospital Faisalabad. Some are in Jinnah, in Lahore.
Hmm.
I mean, they're everywhere. So it I would just say it depends on the person.
Okay, this is a really interesting. So please tell us about the
Yeah.
total expenses of doing MBBS from China. Like most of the students who go abroad, they definitely have some financial constraints because they
Yeah.
are definitely not affording the private medical education here in Pakistan, so they prefer going abroad. So what's the total breakdown of
Yeah.
expenses of doing MBBS from China?
Okay. So when I went to China, the Chinese currency was around 14 or 15 Pakistani rupees.
Okay.
Right now it is around 41 or 41, 42 rupees.
Okay.
So yeah, it's a lot difference, right? If I talk in Chinese currency, I would say the annual fee is around 20,000 Chinese currency RMB, which is
Mm-hmm.
called 20,000 to 25,000, depending on the college. It includes the dormitory annual fee. It includes your tuition fee. It includes your any registration or insurance or anything relevant to the university. Other than that, you students usually spend around I would say around $100 to $200 a month
Mm-hmm.
for their cooking expense, for their just chilling out with friends or whatever. Just $100 to $200 you would consider. If I talk about the annual fee in dollars, it would be 3,000 or 3,200, $3,500. That's the annual fee.
Okay.
But the first years is a bit expensive because agents charge their fee as well.
Mm-hmm.
Some universities deal with the students directly, but those universities are very expensive.
Okay.
The cheaper ones, they usually have the agents who deal with those universities. So if you go through the agent, you'll be paying around $2,000 on top of your tuition fee. If the annual fee is $3,000, you will be paying 2,000 extra on top of that for the first year,
Okay.
because there's a chain of agents. You're dealing with the fourth, fifth person, then the 2,000, that $2,000 divides between all those five persons. So I mean, do your research before choosing the agent. Try to choose the direct one, or try to deal with the university directly
Mm-hmm.
if you have the option.
Okay.
So overall expense, I would say for 5 years, how much would it be? $15,000, $15,000 to $20,000,
Okay.
right? And 6 year internship fee depends. Some universities, some colleges, they do charge the internship fee.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter you're doing your internship in Pakistan or China. They do charge their fee. Some
Okay.
universities they don't. Some universities they charge 50% of the fee.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay.
So plus I would always recommend that student does their internship in Pakistan rather than in China, because in China, due to the language barrier, they don't get to learn a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And in Pakistan, I mean, they are the who they are the main person in doing everything. They're
Mm-hmm.
right house officer and the intern. So
Exactly.
yeah, I would always recommend it. Yeah.
Okay. So do students have the opportunities of doing part-time jobs while they are studying there? So just to cover their expenses,
Okay.
or does this
Yeah.
require a special kind of visa?
It doesn't really require a special kind of visa. Recently, there have been changes in the policies, and the government has allowed international students to do part-time job only if they get the permission from their university. If university office, international office allows student to find job in the campus or around the campus, if they allow, then one can do job legally.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, 90% of the students do the job illegally. I mean, they find the opportunities and they cover their tuition fee, which I won't really recommend. I have done that myself as well. I have seen my friends, I have seen my relatives. I mean, everyone does that, but of course, I won't recommend, because there was a case uh, in one of our senior.
Mm-hmm.
It happened. The police chased him down. He ran, and
Okay.
then they deported him, and then he just he just uh, had some issues, and then he went to China again after a few years to complete his degree. So I won't really recommend, but people do their jobs, and to afford the expenses and everything.
Okay, great. So after you were done
Yeah.
with the studies well apart, so you came back to Pakistan and got done with the house job. So how was that experience like? And you have already observed the young doctors working in the field. So what are some of the challenges being
Yeah.
faced by the young doctors, especially the FMGs, because they have to clear a
Mm.
special test? Like, I'm not sure what's the name
Yeah.
of that test. Like, what are some of the difficulties
Yeah.
being faced by the FMGs
Yeah.
particularly?
Okay. So I went back to Pakistan during COVID. I thought I'm going for a week, but then the China went into the lockdown, and then I had to stay in Pakistan for almost a year and a half or 2 years almost.
Mm-hmm.
And then I graduated. I was in Pakistan when I graduated. And as I mentioned, after the graduation, I started the process for Canada. So I did join hospital, but I only went for a week, and after a week I resigned.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll definitely mention the reason of the resignation and all. You asked me what are the challenges, what are the reasons, or what are the issues FMGs face during their house jobs or in their field life.
Mm-hmm.
The biggest issue is the salary. They don't get anything. They don't get any pay or anything during their house job. I know Pakistani graduates, they do get stipend of 75-80,000 rupees, right?
Mm-hmm.
Around that somewhere.
Yeah.
And FMGs, they don't get anything. I mean, at that phase of life, at that age, they are hesitant to ask their parents, their siblings for the money, for gas money, petrol money.
Mm-hmm.
I have seen some of my friends struggle through that phase. I have seen multiple friends who have dropped their house job and they thought, okay, we'll move to China again to make some money and then we'll complete our house job. So I really think government should look into that. They should at least provide some stipend so the FMGs can cover the gas money to commute to the hospital, to travel to the hospital at least,
Mm-hmm.
or afford their meals, their lunch. I mean, that is a problem most of the FMGs are facing. Um, it's a huge problem.
Yeah.
Test and all that isn't a big issue because most of the FMGs, they do clear the test in their most of. I mean, I've seen in my circle most of them cleared in first or second attempt. It's I in these days it is called NRE or NLE. I'm not really sure,
Okay.
but the stipend, I would say government should look into that, because right now if we see in every hospital, in every ward, you find FMG, right?
Okay.
Everywhere you find Chinese graduate or Russian graduate, and you can easily, I mean, when you interact with them, you can easily see the quality of education they have.
Mm-hmm.
uh, if they are clearing the licensing exam in first attempt, it means
Capable enough, right?
they are good enough,
Mm-hmm.
capable enough to, and then they should get some stipend at least, because
Mm-hmm.
I've communicated with multiple of my friends. They have been going through this phase, so that is the most challenging thing
Chale.
people are facing. Plus,
Mm-hmm. Let's
yeah,
let's
yeah.
let's hope that the policymakers pay heed to this matter.
I really hope so.
Okay.
I really hope so
Now,
because it
mhm,
really affects on their mind, right?
exactly. So now let's come to the
Yeah,
interesting part of your life. What's the story behind
yeah.
the Source Guy, and how did this started?
Okay, so I mentioned earlier as well that I wasn't very talented student who wanted to pursue medical field in future. So I was always into the business. In 2016, I started drop shipping in within China.
Okay.
I was always looking for opportunities. I still remember when I made money out of my drop shipping business. I went for the pizza party with my friends. I was like, oh, it's my first income as a business, because I was earning before as well, but it was first income with my business. So in 2016, I started that. Then I was always, looking for opportunities, what I can do, e-commerce world or anything related to trade. And then in 2017, 2018, I started the import export kind of stuff and started selling on e-commerce on Amazon, and simultaneously I was looking for other things as well. In 2019, I officially started Source Guy. I registered it in US, China, Pakistan. So I started providing services which I thought multiple people face in their businesses. Like, not many people can travel to China to talk to factories, to communicate with factories, to and negotiate with factories, to check their quality,
Mm-hmm.
to ship the goods from China to other countries. I mean, not everyone can visit. Not everyone can find reasonable, reliable, affordable option.
Mm-hmm.
So reliability was the big issue. I thought this is the market gap, and I should come here.
Mm-hmm.
So those days, I still remember I was the uh, very active person. I wouldn't say first person, but I was very active, and then people, students from China, they saw Source Guy and they saw me, and then they started reaching me out, and I told them, you can start the same thing, and they started. Now we have multiple companies offering uh, procurement services, sourcing services, freight forwarding, or quality control, and that's a very good thing. I mean, they are making money as a startup. Uh, uh, Plus, people are getting more options. The competition, due to the competition, they get the consumer gets the better price, right?
Hmm.
So that's how it started. I mean, I was always into the business opportunities. Even right now in Canada, I'm always looking for the options. So that's how it started.
Okay, so has the experience of being a doctor helped you grow this business?
I mean, eventually, of course, because the mindset and everything, the doctor goes through the phase, the challenges. It really does help a person in the real world as well. I mean, you go outside, you know how to communicate, how to be patient. I was a very hyper person, but the medicine taught me that you have to be patient, and we do see doctors always be patient with their patients all the time. I mean, after the duty of 10, 12, 15 hours,
Hmm.
even 32 hours, they are always patient and caring. So it does really help. uh, I mean, teachings do help you in the world, right?
Exactly. So, what are some of the biggest challenges that you have faced while growing this business?
uh, I would say some of the I had no knowledge, right? I I'm coming from a medical background, and it's a totally different thing. Both of the things are apart. I mean, trade, e-commerce,
Hmm.
nothing to do with medical. Uh, so it was a challenge. I mean, I had no idea how I can have the website ready. How can I can approach customers, consumers? How I can upsell my services to those people. um, I had challenges building a network around me who could help me, or uh, we could grow together.
Okay, that's
uh,
the part
I
that I would like to get
Yeah,
details about. Like, as the medical students don't have any backgrounds of
yeah,
mathematics and business studies, so
exactly.
but they are intelligent and they definitely have some unique ideas. Even many of
Exactly.
the students in medical school, they definitely start uh, a small businesses, but the the point where the struggle is like how to scale that business. So what would be your advice for all those medical students out there?
See, you are absolutely right. Medical students go through that phase, and they are the fast learners. They get the option, they get the opportunity, they just go for it.
Hmm.
And I mean, if any medical student is getting any opportunity, just don't think about it. Don't think too much. If you're getting a better opportunity, I mean, you can even if you're pursuing your medical life, you can simultaneously you can do this thing as well as your part-time or passive income or whatever you call it.
Hmm.
Just go for it. There now, the internet is full of everything. Now we have AI, chat GPT, and everything, which can give you exact answer. Just write it and you get the answer. I mean, it's been helping me a lot. I still don't know answers to multiple questions of mine, and I just type it, and ChatGPT gives me the exact answer.
Exactly.
So I would recommend to doctors. Because I'm not sure of Pakistan graduates or Pakistani students, but in China I've seen medical students are a bit away from laptop. They are always in the books and everything. I would recommend they spend time on technology, on computer.
Hmm.
Look into the options, look into the opportunities, what's coming, what's new, and explore that. And always look for the options. Yeah, I would recommend
Okay.
make sure that you're active
Okay, you're
in the real world.
absolutely right. Okay, so what are your future plans and where do you see the Source Guy in next 5 to 10 years, let's say?
Okay, so my future plans, right now in Canada, I'm living just along the US border. Seattle is almost one and a half hour drive from here from my city, from Vancouver.
Okay.
So my plan is to open an office in US, in Canada, and expand it further. Not just the source guy, because as I mentioned that I'm also selling on Amazon and e-commerce websites, and some of my companies, of course, companies on my e-commerce platforms I can't really reveal because the products are confidential,
Mm-hmm.
but they are doing very good, very good. And source guy eventually helps me grow my other e-commerce business as well. I'll give you an example.
Mm-hmm.
Like recently we were coordinating with one factory, and we had no cash flow or money to grow that e-commerce business. We were stuck in the loophole, we were stuck there, and we needed more cash flow. So me and my partner were thinking, should we get a new partner on board? What should we do? Should we get a loan? Or I mean, we were out of options, and then suddenly we thought, oh, why don't we ask factory to provide us credit, after evaluating our company source guy and all of the trade source guy have done, all the reputation of source guy and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And after a few days, the factory coordinated with the insurance company and everything, and to our surprise, the insurance company insured our company source guy, and they approved $100,000 loan for 30 days.
Okay.
I mean, that's a lot, right?
Yeah.
That's a lot. And now we have options to grow that e-commerce business. We can buy the inventory and we can pay them after 30 to 50 days. That was very good, and that's how we started coordinating with all the factories we are buying from. And most of them gave us credit option. One of them gave us 60 days option, one of them gave us 80 days option. So source guy eventually helped me grow my other businesses as well, plus the cash flow I get in source guy I can use for other businesses as well,
Mm-hmm.
right? So my plan for next 5 to 10 years, I would say, I want to make sure that people know of source guy. If they are thinking about sourcing from China, if they are thinking about freight forwarding from China, or quality control inspection report from China, source guy should be in their mind, and source guy should be the first option they should look for. That's what I have in my mind. And plus I have seen multiple of my friends, relatives, and I want to build workforce. I want to give opportunities. I want to hire people.
Mm-hmm.
It really hurts me, it pains me when some of my friend or anyone approaches me and I'm not able to hire them, I'm not able to offer them the opportunity they are looking for. I mean, they are always like, just hire us, and just hire us on probation, don't give us money, just
Mm-hmm.
teach us some skill, and we'll eventually provide you some quality later on. And I'm always like, at the moment, I'm not sure Sourcegate can afford, but if I can afford, I'll right now I have a team of 15, 20, 25 people, and I want it to grow and want to give more and more jobs to the people, because right now in Pakistan the situation is bad.
Mm-hmm.
It's very bad. The dollar currency and everything, and I mean, people are hungry for jobs. We have seen crime rate go up due to the job issues and everything. So I really want to make sure SourceGuy can hire more and more people and give opportunities out there, right?
Okay. So, what advice would you give to a medical student who is currently struggling to start a freelancing career? What should be the appropriate roadmap to attain success in, like, say, 1 or 2 years?
Okay. So again, there are types of people, there are types of students. If you are very good in your medical studies, you should only look for the options which are relevant or related to the medical field.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there are multiple options out there. You can provide freelance services related to medical field, research purposes, or I mean, there are multiple options out there. If you go on Fiverr, Upwork, or any freelance platform, you can find multiple options regarding medical field. So if you're very good in studies, please, I would always request that student, please stay in your own field. Don't go looking for other options like me. I wasn't very good, so I went for the other option. So if you're just okay, you are just doing the degree and you are sure that you're not going to pursue medical field in future maybe,
Mm-hmm.
or even if you are going to pursue and you are going to keep it passive, side hustle, then you can look for anything, other than the medical field. But if you're very good, please stay in your own field, because you can get multiple options. And yeah, I mean, just save up money, open your own clinic, own hospital. uh, my sister and my brother-in-law, they have opened their own hospital, and they're making good money. So you always have the option, save enough to open your own small setup. Start from small and then grow. You don't have to, go big uh, immediately. I mean, just grow in steps, go in the steps, and grow with the time.
Okay, okay, that's great. So, since you belong to the e-commerce community, what if a medical student wants to do a side hustle in that same e-commerce field? What are some of the resources available online from where the students can learn about the different skills that are in demand currently?
Okay. Uh, I mean, if a medical student is looking for the e-commerce opportunities, I would recommend first they do yeah, their search. They should start from YouTube, from Google. They should know what is Amazon, what are the platforms for e-commerce where they can sell. Right now, Daraz is going very good. People are making good money on Daraz as well in Pakistan.
Mm-hmm.
Then there is Shopify, then there is Shopee in Malaysia, then there are multiple platforms in China, then there is Amazon, of course, then there is Walmart. I mean, multiple options out there. So if a medical student is interested, they should first get some knowledge from YouTube, Google. Then they should, go for the companies like training companies. In Pakistan, we have e-commerce enablers, we have multiple companies right now as well. So I won't recommend, I won't tell the person to spend money on those trainings. No, don't do that. Get their free resources. Like, I know Extreme Commerce, they have VBC Video Bootcamp, which is a free for students.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they can just provide the student ID card, scan copy, and they are good to go. They can get the access to that video bootcamp.
Mm-hmm.
That is more than enough for you to start e-commerce or to start your freelance career. So if you're a medical student, you're looking for opportunities, you must go for the e-commerce Extreme Commerce VBC program. Email them, get the access for free with your student ID card, and just start learning from those videos. Once you start watching those videos, you'll eventually get an idea of what you want to do in your life. I mean, those are very good. Again, don't spend any money on any trainings, because internet is full of free resources.
Mm-hmm.
And again, as I mentioned, that BBC Video Bootcamp is compiled of all the valuable content. You also, if you want to move abroad, they have a project called Zameen 100. In that project, you can see multiple countries. Like, I gave them interview for China. How can a person move to China? Which are the options, available options? Like, same, we have multiple other countries as well. People interviewing and giving, multiple options. So for learning e-commerce, VBC is the best resource. Then you have internet. So start from there, and then you'll eventually, get an idea where you want to grow further.
Okay, so Dr. Kaleem, now if a particular student has learnt all those skills that are required for the freelance market, now how can they practice that particular skill, and how can they find the clients to portray their skills? What are some of the ways for
Yeah.
that?
Okay, so number one would be to be very visible on social media platforms. I mean, if you're visible, like you have started this post podcast, and now people will start noticing you. They'll start approaching. They'll start asking if you can, invite us on your podcast. I mean, be visible on the social media platforms. People should know you, right? Then we have freelance platforms. You can offer your services on Fiverr, you can offer your services on Upwork. Or if you can, in your, even in your circle, like I've seen multiple friends in my circle who had money and had no idea where to, invest or what to do with that. So they approached me, they asked me if I can invest their money. Of course, you make sure you have contracts and everything, all the clauses written, and in order. But there are multiple options out there. First would be social media platform, be visible on Facebook, be visible on LinkedIn, and second would be Fiverr, Upwork, and there are other platforms as well which I'm not very aware of because I haven't really used them.
Mm-hmm.
Then if you're a medical student from China, then you have WeChat option where you can offer your services to Chinese. You have other options as well. If you're a medical student in Pakistan, you have Daraz, which is a very good e-commerce platform where you can sell your product, or even your digital. Uh, oh, I would mention OLX as well, because I've seen one of my friends sell digital products there, and he makes around 150,000 Pakistani rupees a month from OLX. He sells digital
Okay.
products. I mean, don't need to ship anything. Just anyone purchases, transfers him money on his Easy Pesa, Jazz Cash, or to his bank account, and he transfers that file, whatever it is, and they're good to go. It's very easy. I mean, he has made all the video instructions and everything, and whenever anyone purchases and sends him the money, and he just transfers that video and all the instructions in the file. He doesn't have to do anything. So just look for the options, because there are multiple options out there. Always keep looking. Don't feel like you have already done enough. No, don't do that. There are multiple options out there, so always keep looking.
Okay, okay. So recently there has been a rise in incubators in Pakistan. I have seen ton of people selling their courses online for hundreds and thousands of rupees, and young students are leaving their formal educations after these skills. So how do you see this trend?
Hmm.
Is this justifiable?
See, these days I'm against those all the courses. I because I have um, seen people lose their savings. I mean, students doesn't have uh, too much savings. I mean, they have saved a bit, and they spend that on course buying, and then they get to they don't get to learn anything. So that's why I mentioned earlier that please don't spend money on any course. Just go for the VBC. If you are making money from freelance, if you are making money from selling your services after learning from those free resources, then you can go for for the paid program. If you think that can help you grow further, then go for that paid program.
Okay.
Otherwise, don't go for that. So you said that incubator trend and everything is uh, going on in Pakistan these days. It's been in the international market for so long, and now the trend is, it's good for the awareness, I would say. These companies have put their money on these incubators and everything, so it's good for overall awareness. People, before, I think before COVID, if if you are the person who is telling your parents that I'm making money online or from internet, I mean, it really didn't sound very good. I mean, they used to question, oh, what is that and what's that, and but right now it's the awareness has helped multiple people go out there and tell, oh, I'm a freelancer, I'm making money online. So it's good for awareness.
Mhm.
But if you want peace, then maybe you can go for the incubator. I mean, you're sitting at home and your mother comes and says, "Jao dhaniya leke aao, jao dahi leke aao," and then you can go for the incubator. You want peace of mind. You want to uh, uh, put 4 or 5 hours of your daily time. Then you can go for the incubator. But otherwise, I would say it's fine as long you are doing good at your own home. You don't really need to go for, even I have seen in incubators, people are there to sell their services. Like, if I'm sitting there and Dr. Ali comes and joins incubator and comes to me, asks me, Dr. Kalim, what is this and what's that, and I'll say, oh, this is this, you come to me, I'll provide you this service, I'll charge you this much amount. That's what happening in incubator these days. Other people are selling their services to the new people, newcomers. So just
Mhm.
try to start from your home initially. If you're doing good, if you're making money, then from that money which you made online, buy the course. After buying the course, if you really feel that you want peace of mind, you want that calm environment, then you can go for the incubator. Otherwise, there is really no need.
Okay, now I would like to wind up the entire discussion.
Mhm.
there's just one final
Yeah.
question. Like, where do you see the future of freelancing with the, like, there has been rapid penetration of AI in the market. So, where do you see the future of freelancing and those entry level freelancers working in the market right now?
Ali bhai, I see the future very good. I really believe if the freelancer is keeping himself herself updated with all the new inventions, then he's fine. He doesn't really need to worry. And if he's a freelancer, if he has good skills, he has skills that he can prove himself. He doesn't really need a job. I mean, he can just go and provide his services. I feel AI is a good thing. It helps you a lot. If I'm a
Mhm.
freelancer, I need to do something. Before I used to spend 5 6 hours. Now I can do that in 1 hour, in few minutes. I mean, AI is helping a lot. The employers,
Okay,
the
okay.
employers, the companies, they wouldn't really like to go and do themselves that AI thing and everything. They still need people to do that, right? So if you're keeping yourself update with all those things, you're good to go. You don't really need to worry. And I feel the future is going to be good. Let's take example for India. I mean, India is doing really good. If I recently met one of employee of a Royal Bank in Canada, RBC, and he mentioned that 90% of our back end IT team is from India, Hyderabad. And he mentioned that
Mhm.
every high street bank in Canada has their 90% team from India. I once did one gig in China for 10 15 days. It was related to IT, and the project was offered to me by Indian company TCS. I'm not sure if people know of it. TCS company. It's based. And I mean, it's from Hyderabad as well. And China, India is everywhere. With China, they have political tensions and everything, but still, all the services related to ID, India is offering, not Pakistan. Why aren't we offering? I mean, we should come forward. We should offer all those. I think IT is the future. Freelancing is the future. Selling digitally is the future. Selling online is the future. And we need to make sure that we are updated. We are aware of all this, and make sure we are in the world. Otherwise, we'll be far behind than the other world. Even in Canada these days, people are leaving those conventional jobs and looking for better options. I- One has to
Okay.
come to internet world, and I think it's good. One person doesn't need to worry about anything if he's updated with the new stuff.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Thank you so much for sharing your insights with us, Dr. Kaleem. I'm really grateful for all the knowledge that you have shared. It was an amazing session, and I get to learn a lot from you. Or
I really appreciate you inviting me, and I really, really hope that people get to learn something from me. I'm learning every day from the people I meet, so I really hope people get to pick something from this video, from this session, and it helps them in their life or in their career. I really hope so. And
Sorry.
thank you so much for the invitation. I really, really, really appreciate that you considered me. I'm honored. Thank you so much, Dr. Ali.
Okay, okay. You're welcome. Thank you so much for all the viewers who have watched the episode till the very end. Join us next time for more exciting conversations. Until next time, Allah Hafiz.